Hey everybody, this is David Skarica, stock chart of the day for Friday. I guess it's the 19th. We're gonna have some fun the next couple stock charts of the day, today and Mondays, because actually part of the reason is so I got a really next week, by the way, I'll get back on track here. I've got some really cool stuff planned for next week. Essentially, I got a few good ideas. I got a great specialized trader, great trader. It's actually a guy I'm more of a deal maker. Guy's a friend of mine. So we're gonna do that, and then I'm not gonna spoil that though. And then I've got a really interesting one on Hong Kong stocks, which we'll do. You'll see a special reason I'm gonna do it on Monday. And then I also have one on comparing this kind of Magnificent Seven thing to similar to the past. This will be more of an extended stock chart of the day, historical one. So I'll probably have those out Monday or Tuesday, no, definitely Monday on the Hong Kong one for a certain reason. I'll tell you why in a second. And it's not, I don't mind spoiling this thing or whatever, giving you a little preview here. And definitely loving the ideas of the other two I have. Probably Wednesday I'll have the Great Trader one, and then Friday I'll do that Thursday or Friday I'll do that kind of longer one. So, and just so you know, as we go forward here with stock chart of the day, it's going to be more and more, probably 3 to 4 free charts a week, and then maybe 5, but and then the pay version. Once I've kind of like now that I've closed off that free trial I was giving to past members on the pay version is going to be probably up to twice a week. So just so for pay members, I'll have something out this weekend as well. So what I'm doing with these kind of specialized versions is look at my 2 favorite musical artists of all time are Robert Palmer. That's why I named my newsletter originally Addicted to Profits, obviously Addicted to Love. There's always some weird synergy sometimes when you like an artist or something. Robert Palmer was born in Batley, which is in Yorkshire. And of course, my dad was born in Leeds. So my father was born pretty close to where he was born. And about the same time, my dad was born in 53 and he was born in 49. Today's his birthday, or would have been his 75th birthday. Unfortunately, Robert Palmer died when he was 54 of a massive heart attack. They said he had ended up having a heart problem, but the guy smoked like 50 cigarettes a day, which also gave him that great husky voice, right? So, and then Palmer ended up, of course, moving to the Bahamas, where actually it's where he recorded Addicted to Love and a lot of these big hits that he did. So I'm going to put Addicted to Love, probably one of my favorite, definitely top 5 favorite songs ever. Probably the greatest music video of all time. I'm also going to put, I'm going to put 3 songs. I think I'm going to put Sneakin' Sally Through the Alley, which is the first song he ever did as a solo artist. He did it with the Meters, who were a famous funk group. And then I'll think of the third one. I'm going to do Chic and Rocket. It's kind of a lesser known song. It's heavy for those of you who like heavy stuff. He did it with the Power Station. Now, the Power Station, they were kind of known for their original album. It's 2 guys, Andy Taylor and John Taylor, Duran Duran, and the drummer Tony Thompson of Chic, and Bernard Edwards helped produce it, who was the bass player of Chic. And their first album was huge, and then they kind of did this follow-up album in the mid-90s that no one bought, but I love this song. It's one of my favorite songs. So I'll do those things. Palmer was a really unique artist. He did everything from rock and roll to if some of you are big not rock and roll fans, you like jazz or big band, he did these great albums called Don't Explain and Riding High. There's actually maybe I'll post that as well. There's a concert he did at the Royal Albert Hall in London, which is all like kind of big band and jazzy and that sort of music. It's really, the guy had a great voice. So, and what I love about him personally is that he did everything from Caribbean styles, because obviously he lived in the Bahamas, to hard rock, to ballads, to this kind of jazz genre. So he was a really unique artist. So those, I think much as I love Chic and Rocket, maybe I'll put Chic and Rocket out on September 26th, when I always do my Robert Palmer song and the ode, kind of to the day he passed away. So but yeah, so I'm going to put that so enjoy that. And that Albert Hall is a great kind of concert to listen to for friends over for dinner, or you're just working background music, because it's very kind of like, enjoyable. And by the way, this is kind of what I like to do in my service. I think like we get too caught up in the markets and everything's like, this and that and whatever. So, and you get all serious, and obviously it's money. You don't want to lose money, obviously, but like, I think it's good to have some kind of interest outside of just market. So, and of course, for me, Robert Palmer is always kind of, special because, like I said, he moved to the Bahamas like myself. He was born kind of in the same area my dad was, and I named my business essentially after his biggest hit song. So, there we go. And I'm showing you his 3 genres of music: some funk, or 3 of his genres: funk, rock and roll, and kind of this jazz, easy listening stuff. So let's go into the Fed. Okay. So we've seen like the stronger retail sales, right? We've seen the TLT, you can see sell off here about 6 points from 100 to 93. Of course, it was extremely overbought. You can see the RSI got over 70. So that means interest rates have also backed up here. And I've heard a lot about, I think someone at the ECB even said that they don't think the Fed, you can see that the rates have gone from 380 to almost 420 on the intraday here. So up 40 basis points. Pretty big move in just a few weeks. So because of the stronger than expected inflation numbers, because the stronger expected retail sales numbers, jobs numbers, people think the Fed might put it off. Like this ECB member said the Fed shouldn't raise all year, which is not going to happen, especially in an election year. So has it really changed? That is, kind of the question we will ask in this the outlook for interest rates. Now, first of all, this is the short-term rates. This is the 3-month T-bill, which kind of leads the Fed funds rate. We can see it's come off from 534 to 520. Now, that's not a huge move. That's 15 basis points. But it should be at 525 if the Fed is going to keep holding right here. Oh, no, actually, sorry. It should be 535. 535. And the Fed's going to keep between 525 and 550. It's already starting to bake in the first a quarter point cut. So that's number one. The 3-month Treasury is telling you that first rate cut is coming. Okay. Now this is the Fed funds futures, which I've talked about in the past. They've come down a bit. They were 80% chance about a month ago of a cut in March. Now you can see it's more like 50-50. This is a half point here. So this is like 54-47 or 53-47 that there's going to be a Fed rate cut here. In May, though, let's look at this. May is almost 100% chance of a rate cut, 89% chance of a rate cut. And there's almost a 40% chance that it will be a half, 50 basis points. So that's still telling you, like I said, about 50-50 that will get this rate cut. This is basically telling you, okay, we think there's going to at least be 1, and this would be 2. They probably wouldn't cut half a point. So this is June. And you can see here, again, June is basically priced in 100% that they'll do another one in June. So I don't want to go in every single month, but let's go out to December. So remember a few months ago, I said that I think they were a little too aggressive. They were basically the Fed funds futures were baking in 150 basis point of rate cuts by December. Okay. Now that's again 50-50, that it's 125 or 150. But what I'm trying to say from this is all these stronger economic data readings, all, or stronger, that one stronger inflation number, all it's done is really taken one rate, 25 basis point rate cut out of the equation. Remember, there's only 40 days from the March meeting to May meeting. So it's just delayed it by 40 days. Is that really a big deal? I don't think it is. I don't think you should think it is. It's like, who cares if they do 125 or 150? I actually even said, I thought they were going to do 75 to 100. So like the market is still more aggressive than me, but I definitely think all of this has really happened is deferred maybe the first rate cut from March to May, which is completely fine, by the way. So, and we kind of needed an excuse to consolidate or sell off a bit in the stock market. So, and like I look at gold, right? For example, in this, in all this equation, you can see this again, this little sell-off has happened here in the GLD. And I think, again, instead of maybe breaking out in February, March, maybe gold breaks out in April or May now, which kind of stinks because I'm a gold bull. I've got a lot of gold positions at the moment. I would wish it could break out earlier, but what can you do about it, right? If it's just a few months later, this is kind of why I'm not playing as many options and all that sort of thing. because of because of this, right? So we'll look at Eagle, we'll look at a gold stock. You can see again, these things are all kind of consolidated. Eagle's actually, we'll look at the GDX. GDX is very oversold. Again, look at the last time we got this oversold was in October, and the GDX rallied from about $25.50 to 32. So say it went up roughly $6-7. It went up almost 25% over the next 2 months. So I'm not saying that the GDX is going to go up to 34 in the next 2 to 3 months, but we're getting to that oversold type of level again, in gold stocks here. And if we got like the GDX to the GLD, let's just do this ratio, you can see how badly they've underperformed. So they're cheap compared to gold. Now, that does not always mean that gold stocks have to lead gold. Look what happened. They underperformed till November, and then there was a big 2-month rally. But I don't actually believe it means anything of that. But anyhow, we can see what can happen here. So, and of course, we got the S&P. We've got this tech stock still leading. I'm going to compare the Magnificent Seven to past time frames like this next week. That's one of my things. And I talked about Robert Palmer earlier, just to kind of segue and kind of coming back 100 or 360 degrees now to where I started. We're going to do something very interesting on Hong Kong stocks, and Monday happens to be Michael Hutchinson's birthday. So those are my 2 favorite musical artists. And ever since I've grown my hair long, my hair is kind of like Michael Hutchins' hair, which is kind of funny, again, with him being one of my favorite musical artists. But we're going to talk, because Michael Hutchins grew up in Hong Kong. So we're going to talk about Hong Kong and what Hong Kong stocks have done between, since the transfer from the UK to China, and since Michael Hutchins passed away, which happened to be the same year. So that should be an interesting video. That's why I'm really excited for next week, right? Because I like when I can have some fun, tie in some music, tie in some pop culture, maybe tie in some football some way, all of that sort of thing. This year happens to be the 40th anniversary of the Raiders winning their last Super Bowl. My favorite team. I was 6 years old at the time. Marcus Allen running into the night. So maybe we'll tie that in, the weekend of the Super Bowl as well, because the Raiders are giving me very little joy the last 20 years. So I got to have some fun with it. So as well. So anyhow, you can see the S&P is now at a new high. And by the way, when I'm showing you the overvaluations, why there could be a correction, all of this sort of thing, all I'm giving you is information. What I want this service to really be is educational and information. Yeah, I have sponsor companies. I put my money in these companies. We'll talk about that as well. If you want to throw some, your gambling money in juniors, that's all it is gambling money. Yeah, do it, right? But but I just want to be information. And the more information you have, okay, the market can rally because the Fed rate cuts, but it's still very expensive historically. I think that's good to know in the back of your mind, right? To basically know that. So anyhow, so you can see the S&P is up here. I'll give you one stock I kind of like. This is Loma. This is an Argentinian stock, pays a huge dividend. Milei, the Argentinian president, made a great speech. I think it's a great speech. It matters what your politics are, but or your economic views are. But I thought it was a great speech at the WF. He basically kind of stuck it to the rest of them there, and a lot of the stuff he talked about, just kind of belief wise, is kind of what I believe too. So anyhow, so there you go. Yeah. So yeah, we can see the market. It's rallying a bit today. I still don't want to really chase the market up here, but what I've been trying to show you is all that's happened with a stronger than expected economic data is we've maybe pushed and we're still actually more than 50% chance that they are going to cut rates. So, and my opinion is the data is going to start coming in weaker now. People kind of maxed out the credit cards. Consumer debt's near all-time highs. Housing is unaffordable. So I think everyone was like, the stock market's done good. Still had some of that COVID money left over. That free money they gave out. A lot of people are still working on, if they did 5 or 7 year or 10-year fixed mortgages. So they still have lower rates on the houses. So everyone kind of did their little splurge during Christmas. And now we're looking at doing this, right? We're looking at, now we're going to looking at, kind of pulling back the spending. And of course, probably all this bad weather and cold weather and storms we had in the States in January is going to hurt some of the numbers this month anyhow. So I really expect a slowdown in the economy, in hiring, in spending in the next few months too. And that still may mean that March rate, cut is open, right? So And like I said, all that's really happened is we've gone from 125 basis points of cuts this year to a 50-50 chance, or sorry, 150 points to a 50-50 chance is 150 and 100% chance is 125. That's all that's happened. It's not a big deal, you know? So, and like, you know, the last thing I'll talk about here is this is an oil ETF. You know, you can see the oil's been trending lower. As long as oil doesn't have some huge boon higher back to $100, that also kind of does reduce the inflation, you know, here. So short term. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this. Members, we'll have an update. I'll probably put it up either tomorrow. I'll do it. I'll probably put it out tomorrow because look, I like sports. I like to relax on the weekends and watch football. Leeds is playing 7 a.m. So I'm probably gonna watch the Leeds game in the morning and then watch football in the afternoon. So tomorrow I don't really have much going on in the morning. So probably Saturday morning, I'll do the members video. Watch out for that. And then watch out for Monday. We'll be doing the Hang Seng. Wednesday, we'll be doing our Great Traders series. And I might have another video out during the week as well. And then Friday, I'm going to compare what's going on in the Magnificent Seven to past timeframes like that. So I'm really excited. I think tomorrow, you know, this is the nice thing about living in the Bahamas, living in a quiet place. At night, it's ultra quieter. I have these very vivid dreams because my house is quiet and dark at night. You don't hear any traffic and the whatnot. So this is the nice thing about living here, you know. So everybody take care and hope you enjoyed this.